our nose and hack. Woo-ha, got the world infected. So throw that cough up in your arm, don't ever disrespect. Woo-ha, got the world. Coronavirus up in the place. True indeed. Caught the sickness, that's word on my seed. It's guaranteed to make you sick as me. One sniffle, everybody got the disease. Wake up every morning with the fever in a wheeze. Nationwide panic, now a world stampede. Yes, I licked the paper when I rolled up the weed, then I laughed when you passed it back to me. Yo, it's about to get you set speed. Tease the social gatherings, schools and groceries. The virus knock you out like Apollo Creed. Body aches, sniffly nose making you sneeze. Spread through the air, mask up and take heed. So much inflammation, oh boy, you can't breathe. Oh, you can read about the pure breed. Do Corona dance like you ate a pepper seed. When I step up in the place, I make Corona spread. Whoa, hi, got the world infected. I got that deep chest cough that make your lungs collapse. Whoa, hi, got the world infected. And you know we come through to blow our nose and hack. Whoa, hi, got the world infected. So throw that cough up in your arm, don't ever disrespect. Whoa, hi, got the world infected.
Shit, boo-boo, shit.
Seems like these days I'm spending too much time alone. And these four walls feel more like a prison made of stone. But I heard the wind whisper sweetly in my ear about a place so far away that seems so near. And I hope that one day I can meet her there and call it home. It seems like more of a question than a song. How something seems so right and yet turns out so wrong. When I walk along the river, try to empty out my mind. Things that brought me here I cannot seem to find. And I hope that one day I can reach the other side and call it home. Call it home. I'm going.
There he is. He's walking home. That's
He's making his way home.
making his way home. There's a whole
Like a
bunch
Superman.
of them. Drops down in the toilet and goes flush.
made it
Welcome
home.
back, everybody.
Made it
It's
home.
Sideshow Nate and Dan.
What's
Straight
up, guys?
here with the South of the Straits show. What's happening, everybody? We got a lot of shit that's going on tonight. Obviously,
going
you
down?
saw in the intro there that we had. God, there's like a green glow around me.
I know, you see
notice
that? It's
that? You see,
bleeding
like,
into me.
I got this green aura. That's like. Mark just joined us in the studio here.
Mark, you're not supposed to say anything,
damn
man.
it.
You came in and started fucking
It all up.
talking.
We had like that.
We had something we were going to plan for you.
There he goes.
Never mind, Mark's here.
Mark's here,
This
everybody.
place isn't really haunted, although we could have fucking made people think that.
It was gonna be, it was gonna be a ghost.
It was going to be a ghost tonight on
That
the
was
show.
totally the plan.
We had a whole fucking plan.
Had a whole plan that was going. No, it wasn't quite to that extent.
Okay. It's not. Yeah, leave it to Mark. Anyway, yeah, man, we're here tonight. We're doing the show. It's Sunday.
It is.
We were
It's Sunday.
gone last week because Nate is
And
out
the week
working
prior.
promoting Whole Bags
Whole
of Northern
Bags.
Michigan here.
I've
We're
been
just
holding it up,
they're the
everybody.
sponsors of the show tonight too. Thank you to Whole
doing
Bags.
the old whole bags. I was out at the whole bag, the
Mushroom,
Mesek Mushroom Festival there. Yeah.
Mesek.
Doing the Mushroom Fest over the past weekend, last weekend, and actually I made a fucking
You
killing,
don't want to
dude.
mess with the old Mushroom Fest here.
You have
it's
no
the
idea.
best place to go here if you want to have a little bit of fun, fun guy fun.
We made out like you wouldn't believe, dude. Like 107 bags that were sold that weekend.
That's great, man.
107 fucking bags. That
See,
I sold
fucking whole bags are doing it, man. I've always had faith in y'all and that you were gonna do this shit, and you're fucking doing it, man. Brother's doing it, man.
Yeah, no, it was
man,
fucking great. We had a guitar that was set up out front. John, he came out there. If John, you got to check him out on TikTok too. Everybody, you can go and see what he's got going on. Oh, Nate Burley, yeah. We got to have Nate come by here soon. We just it was just 2 years ago.
It was a celebration. It was the anniversary of 2 years.
Meeting, yeah.
Wait, hold on. 2 years since you were on the show last.
Yeah, since he was on the show.
Been that long?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
flew,
time
dude.
Does fly. But come back on the show anytime. We've always had an
Keep
open
that
door
on.
policy.
Don't
for
lose
you.
that. Don't lose that, Mock. We got a news story that's coming up tonight. As you saw, folks, we have we have
Don't
some
jump
things.
out on stage yet.
Don't
here,
jump.
bud.
Don't
Just
come out
stop.
yet. Don't come out yet because you're gonna be perfect for this set this bit that we got here. But we got Nate. Obviously, you're tuning in on Facebook there. Thank you. We are broadcasting live on Facebook right now, as well as Instagram. Or not Instagram. Fuck that Instagram. We're broadcasting. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
we're on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. That's where we are right now.
Nice.
So you can check us out on the 3 different areas. Yeah, I think there's better
good.
quality on a couple of different ones. Like if you actually check them out, if you go and check them out on
We should check out some other streaming
each
networks.
respective. We should.
Just
we
see,
could.
like,
We
what's
could
out there
start
to
putting them
offer.
out there all over the damn
There's all
place.
kinds of podcast networks and stuff and apps you can get. Like,
Oh no, Nate was on YouTube. Yeah, he was on YouTube right now. Yeah, he's checking us out on YouTube. That's
Okay,
good. Good to
YouTube.
know. Good to know.
I like the tubes.
Yeah, we love it. We love the people that are tuning in on YouTube. Obviously every channel.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to subscribe.
Yes, yeah. Send to the
Jump
stars,
on
or
with
you
us.
can even do the, on YouTube, you can do the super chats. Where say you want to see us do something that's a little bit out there and sketchy, like it's
Offer us something and we might do it.
Yeah, we may, if depending on what we have at hand, that's kind of like we can't
We've
fucking,
discussed a couple things like tattooing ourselves live.
yeah. I think we
eating really hot shit.
Yep.
I mean, we've had
We've
plenty of
got
the
hot shit
challenges.
We've
Yeah.
got some flaming hot stuff. If anybody wants to do that, we can definitely do that.
We've done the hot challenges before. We usually have who do we have come in? We have what is the name that he goes by though? Big D, I know that, but like what are they what do we always call them? The Spice Lords?
Spice Lords. Yeah, we got to have them back on too,
Come
man.
back
We got to
in
get
and-
those guys get back in.
Yeah, get some chicken wings going or something.
Yeah, but if you wanted to send us, like I said, super chats, stars on Facebook, I think is something that they do, or on Twitch. I don't know what they do really too much. I'm doing the best I can.
We
over
want to
there,
bring
folks.
back the electric shock trivia thing too,
Yeah.
where we get
go
shocked,
for-
electrified when we get something wrong, or just like, remember?
This doesn't sound like fun.
We could do other challenges like we have to try to read a sentence while we're being shocked.
While we
or
used
like
to do, we
hold
used to
on
sing.
to something.
Remember, we used to sing while we were being electrocuted. That was fun. I thought like electric shock singing. It had a cool name. I
Nate,
can't
this
remember what
time
the fuck
I
it was.
really want to step it up more, and like we did it with a dog shocker collar, and it was it was jolty.
Yeah,
it was like it would catch you off guard. You'd be like, oh right. But I want to
right.
really turn it up, man, and like shock the fuck out of each,
Fucking
like
just kill it.
bang like make you bind up type shit.
Right. That's stuff that likes to go
That's
into
what I'm talking
convulsions and stuff. That sounds like fun, Dan. That sounds like a lot of
If
fun.
I could shit your pants, for you.
What's this guy talking
Because I can never shit your own pants. Like you can never.
You
want to
shit my
I'm
pants.
the only one that
Okay.
can shit my pants.
So, anyways, tonight on the show we're going to be chatting with Alfonso at about 7:30. Alfonso on
yes.
on our Facebook Live Messenger room.
The long-awaited
that we're gonna be-
interview.
Yes, long awaited actually. Just
Yeah, because we talked about that incident that had happened where the kid was like videotaping and security
Yeah.
like drug him out.
Yeah,
And Alfonso was like getting like
I think
looking
I
at the
got
dude's
that.
camera,
I do
right?
have that. I got that. Yeah. He was right there in front of it.
I want to know what
Michelle Gittes, what's happening? Or Michael Gittes. Michael Gittes.
I make that kind of mistake all the time saying that. I'm a horrible reader.
Which we'll find out tonight, actually, because we're going to be doing a segment as well where ChatGPT has written a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing with Alfonso. So a lot of the interview that we have with Alfonso has already been written up by ChatGPT. Which
it's
is just,
designed to
I
make
don't know.
us look stupid, really, because there's these huge words in it that you're supposed to just know.
That you can't speak for shit either. Like, that's the best part, dude. Like, when it comes to you trying to say any words.
I'm horrible, yeah.
Michael, on your way to fishing right now. Nice, man. That's good to know, dude. You know what? Fishing, actually, Michael, I'll tell you this. I got a cool thing that is being made by Whole Bags very soon. And there's some other different products that are also that are under development right now. I have a backpack. I have a backpack that I've created.
Nice. That
has. I swear to God, I may have to. I want to look into this patented process. You know, the patent pending thing. Yeah. Because the design that I have in order to cinch this backpack closed is very original, and when you put more weight into it, it actually cinches tightens it more, so you can't. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's a pretty cool looking little backpack, and it's very easy to use. You know.
All right.
Yeah. So that's coming. That's coming. There's the backpack. That's the Whole Bags backpack, as well as we're going to be having the fishing bag. Okay. So check this out. The fishing bag, right? It's going to say like fish on it, right?
Okay.
And just like have a fish on it, but there's
it'll be shaped like a fish.
No, it's not going to fucking look like a fish. But like the purpose for it is it's going to be able to sit in the water, like right on the edge of you. You know how you usually have a stringer when you catch a fish or something like that and you're river fishing and you have a stringer that you put around your waist, right? Well, this one you can just put your fish right into this fucking bag. Replace that with a bag. And the double kicker with this bag is it's going to have little Velcro straps, right, that go across right there.
So you can't jump out.
No, you can put your fucking fishing rod on, and you can carry your hands free while you're walking to your fishing spot or some shit like that.
Hook up a Velcro thing on your rod.
Yeah, you can just like 2 Velcro loops that'll be on the strap.
Okay,
that'll go for the fishing bag. Right. Yeah, so you'll just have a couple little Velcro loops right there. That zip.
I would be out there like having it Velcro down and like.
No, I don't think you're gonna look like that.
I'd be like fishing with my chest.
So things to look forward for there, Michael. Michael Gittes, man. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, man.
That's really rad.
Checking out the show,
dude. Bag. I'll buy one of those. Go.
Yeah. Thank you for saying hi. But tonight, news, sports, and weather, and all that shit, man. No.
We're doing all that?
No, we're
sports,
not doing
weather,
all that.
news?
No, should we get to the news? Because we got Alfonso at about 7:30, and I figure this news is probably going to be taking us at least. We're going to
have to listen to some music too, though, right before
we get to Alfonso, to get everybody all revved up and ready. Because I got a killer fucking song too, one of my favorites by Heartsick that we're going to be checking out here tonight. As well as some of the other ones, some of the newer ones that he's got out there. Dericho, I think is how you say it. I'm not working out a good.
So you want to do some crappy news?
Talk about this.
Crap news?
You ready for some crappy news, guys?
I mean,
hey, Mark, are you there? Wait, Mark, we're getting ready for the news right now.
Yeah, Mark, where are you? We need you, bud.
Oh.
We're going to be needing you here for the news, this segment here.
That's okay. We got that.
Mark.
His segment is, we can make this happen, okay? Let's get to the news, everybody.
Crappy news. I think it's good news, Should have said fucking crappy
news. Oh. Got to turn on our broadcast system up here, folks. Welcome in. It is Sideshow Nate and Dan Strait here with the crappy news here of Traverse City.
You got it.
All kinds of crappy crap that's going on here in Traverse. And Dan, have you heard there's some furry friends that have been flocking around the
I've heard they're coming
town.
out to play. Yes, that's right, Nate.
Yes.
A lot of animal friends have been coming out of hibernation here recently here in the Traverse City area. Some bears, huh?
Some bear. Hey, some bear. I tell you what there, Dan.
Some bear, huh?
Not only that, these bears are closer to Dan than he thought. Because you know what? Oh, I got to push the right button there.
They're closer to me than you thought.
Closer to
Where
you
are
than
they,
you thought,
Nate?
Dan.
Huh?
Yeah, check this out.
Look what we picked up this week here in town.
news, sports and weather. We got the Bears, right?
Look at that. There was a bear
really
spotted.
loud.
Where was that spotted at this week?
Spotted at just this week at Lilac Lane here in Meadowlanes.
Meadowlanes
Trailer Park here in Traverse City. So yeah.
Look at that,
was
folks.
happening.
There's a bear. It could be right next door to you. You could wake up to go to your car in the morning, and there could be a bear there, Nate. Huh?
But Dan, it gets crazier than that.
Yeah.
Getting out of town because your sister-in-law, Dan,
Oh yes.
had an encounter.
I heard about this.
She
Roll the
had an
footage.
encounter.
Roll the footage,
Check
bud.
out this beautiful bear footage.
Hey, bud, it's okay. There's a big old black bear. He's so sad. It's okay, Bobbies. You're cute. You are the cutest.
We'd start talking about
She was dead serious about that thing was cute. She thought that thing
She
was
thought it was
adorable.
pretty cute.
And safe and scared.
It was right there. Imagine if you were walking down the street, taking your little dog for a walk in the morning, and there's a 400 pound bear.
Fuck. Yeah, a fucking giant bear sitting there. Jesus Lord.
My goodness, they're coming out of hibernation, guys. So
there you
keep
go.
your eye out for the
There's
bears
bear.
locally in all the neighborhoods here.
Bear
Apparently
in
they're the
Traverse City.
neighborhoods. Trailer parks everywhere.
Trailer park bears too. Yeah. As soon as this bear was spotted, the owner of that trailer right there was facing a fine for having an animal that was not on the lease. Actually,
On the property.
nobody
No,
owns a
no
fucking
one knows
bear.
where the bear is.
Nobody owns a bear.
That must have been a ghost talking.
Hold on, I don't know if that's a ghost. Yeah, hold on.
Get back. Get over there. Get over there.
All right, in other news.
Ay.
Hold on. Here we go. Here's the news that actually we're looking for. In there, right there. You
Where
see
was
that?
this boat? Where was this boat at? It's got the Oscar Mayer Wiener. Oh, look at this!
The Oscar Mayer
Look at this!
Wiener.
We got the Wiener guy here.
Oh, the Wiener
Frank.
Man's here,
It's
in
Frank.
fact. Look at this. It's the Wiener Man who has come to town. And we in Traverse City, we love wieners for some reason. I remember when
Love the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck. Like there's
Remember
a.
there was the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck was in town, and everybody was very, very excited about the Wiener truck. And now they were upset because the Wiener truck's no longer known as the Wiener truck. It's known as the Frankmobile. So I'm trying
What?
to, yes,
The Frankmobile.
the Frankenmobile.
Get off this big screen bullshit. Go back to the fucking screen.
Okay. sorry.
You're kidding me. You mean they changed the name for the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck to the Frankmobile?
The Frankmobile. Why can you see through me? I feel like a ghost that's slowly disappearing.
It's like Back to the Future, dude.
My parents have to have
My
sex.
parents need to scream.
If they don't have sex, I'm going down. Oh, wait, I'm coming back. I think I'm coming back.
The Oscar Mayer Wiener guys, we know how much you guys love the Wiener
Yeah.
up here in northern Michigan.
So-
And so we got Frank here with us to represent this
Giant wiener going into a boat. It kind of
Amazing.
looks like
It's-
a big
Oh, I mean, a big bitch.
wiener.
that's where little boats come from.
So there you have it, folks.
That's very
There's the
little-
news tonight.
little
There's the fucking news.
Oh, that's not
There's
the
the
old-
news.
Why?
Wrap it up.
You want that to be done? What?
Well, yeah, I mean, how long are we going to go on about it?
We still have the homeless. What about the
It's a regular thing. It happens more often than you think. But sometimes it goes wrong. This week, right?
wrong? Oh, yes.
Sometimes it goes wrong. This week in Traverse City, you thought everything was going good the night of the incident, but then later on that night, someone doused somebody's tank of gasoline and lit it on fire. Apparently the guy made it out. But he's not dead. He's probably burned, though.
Dude that fell in it.
Yes, did you hear about this, Dan?
Oh, do they fall in it or do they get doused with gasoline? That's what I heard.
There was something with a gasoline and a taser, from what I understand. A taser
Gasoline
and
and a taser.
gasoline. Yes, there's
They're getting
a.
sophisticated out here in the sticks.
I don't know how she got hold of a taser, but Central Dispatch actually said that they received numerous calls of a possible wildfire on the Women's Trail, the 600 block of Division Street. This was coming from a very reliable source here.
Absolutely reliable source.
Northern Michigan, actually.
Yep.
And wanted to remain anonymous because of his level
We're not going to give up the source.
of
But
importantness.
trust us when we say this is exactly what happened here. Go ahead.
This
Nate.
is what happened. Upon further investigation, the fire was at the campsite. They called it the campsite, is what it was.
Okay.
Just a campsite in the woods.
Okay, you don't have to do that news voice guy no more.
Okay, thank you. So they burned it. They start. I can't do it now. I can't.
Go back to the news guy. Go.
Okay, yeah, back to the news guy. Upon further investigation by the Traverse City Police Department, it was determined that the fire started at the campsite by the victim, or that was occupied by the victim, a 38-year-old male from Traverse City. Witnesses said the victim who started the fire was some 40-year-old female from Traverse City. She looked almost familiar, maybe, I mean, possibly, maybe familiar to somebody we just saw.
Really?
Well, we'll watch another video here in just a
Yeah.
second.
Maybe
In
you
just
were
a second.
watching a few seconds earlier. when we were
Maybe. There was
playing
a
video.
Allegedly, there's a woman poured gasoline onto the active campfire and then the tent structure while the victim was inside the tent. The victim was able to escape, and he was able to get out of the tent, but... Yeah, as soon as the police showed up, they saw that she had a taser in her backpack as well.
Wow.
Yes, this is.
She was out to do some damage in the homeless.
Wendy. There's Whiskers. There's Marty. There's, and there's Troy. Yeah, I know your name. I just forgot. What is it? Carl.
Carl
Look at
is
the fire,
victim,
guys.
too.
And that's Numbnuts. Hey, Numbnuts, look at me. There's Numbnuts.
That could be the victim.
We're just sitting around a fire on a Friday night, and getting high, enjoying ourselves. But anyway,
Enjoying yourselves.
there's my puppy. But I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. But I want to show you my puppy. Hold on a minute, guys.
What?
There's my puppy.
Puppy?
There's everybody. We're just sitting around,
Goodness.
getting really bored and watching the
What
fire.
happens if that
I love you guys.
sick needs to go to the
Peace.
vet?
Happy Friday night.
You have a puppy?
Homeless but got a puppy.
Homeless, but taking care of another life.
Oh, she took care of another life, all right. At least she tried to.
Almost burnt it. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah,
That
that's
was her.
true. That might be like a livestock thing, like keeping a warm animal around in case they get hungry. They're
Yeah,
homeless.
so it's a food thing. Yeah.
Toss. Dude, that
News
was
guy
like,
voice sounds like
get out of here with that racist shit.
Hans and Franz. Hans and Franz, yeah.
Oh, my
Sounds
God.
like at the Hans and Franz, yeah.
We got the wiener. We got
disappeared.
Frank the wiener over. Yeah, what's that?
What's everyone
Where'd he
smoking
go?
tonight? I got the cranberry cookies on deck. Hold on, we got more. No, do we have any more news? I think that's it.
Oh, my
wait.
God. I'm going to tell you, if I'm smoking,
Traffic
I'm smoking
in Traverse
that
City.
Cali, baby.
There's traffic in Traverse City, if you didn't know. There's somebody complaining about traffic in Traverse City, and they were driving down the road, and it was very, very tough. Hans and Franz. All right, there you go. That's all I can do for this fucking news shit, man. No more. What'd you do? What is that?
That's all.
Check.
That's the news, man. That was a
That's
good
the news.
segment. That was some crazy shit.
That
The
was
Bears.
that's the stuff that's going
What's
on
going on
here
with the
in
Bear?
Traverse City. This needs to be said. Nice to meet you, man. You're a new follower on the show, and it's good to see you. Thank you for checking us out. We got we're going to be chatting with Alfonso Civile from the band Heartsick.
Hell yeah.
In just a few minutes here, but we're going to watch some Heartsick's music here really
Want to see
quickly.
some of these guys?
Check out their videos.
We're gonna
I
be
love
talking to 'em.
Their music videos are fucking dope, dude. They're
Yeah, bro.
mean, obviously he goes. Alfonso and the entire band of Heartsick, they go above and beyond when it comes to putting out anything out there, as well as doing the fucking shows. You know, like their live sets are just pure fucking energy.
Dude, they're fire.
Like,
They're like, you know, even if you're not really into like metal music, you would like these guys. They got that feeling, that sound. What, I'm trying to talk about the band here.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Oh,
he looks like a giant bud walking around like your face. Oh, it's a bear on the loose. It's a bear. It's a hot dog bear.
It's a hot dog bear. It's fucking Adam Petra.
But yeah, it's going to be a great
Petra.
interview tonight.
Yeah,
awesome
we're gonna chat
band.
with
You guys check this out.
Find
We're gonna
out
play
too
some
about
music
that assault that happened at the remember the assault that he witnessed there? Maybe we'll talk to him about that.
Oh
too.
yeah, that's right. At the show with that kid there was video and he got ripped,
kid was
rushed out
videotaping
by
that the
the
entire
security.
time.
They're like,
Yep.
"You're out," and they like kicked his ass.
Fucking ripped his ass out.
That was
all right.
bullshit.
Quick little thing from our sponsor here, Whole Bags. Where's the thing at, man? I don't even know.
Dude, we got to figure out that kid's name again and what show that was at.
No peeking.
This is taking forever. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's a whole bag.
Yep.
Here.
Recycle. Mesh.
I'm pregnant.
That was the moment that Bill just didn't have the heart to tell Nancy that she can't use his whole bag. But luckily for him, he bought the 2 whole bag deal on wholebagsonline.com. So, now she can fish.
Someone take control of the world. People touch
Should probably turn the fucking mic on too, shouldn't I? Push the wrong damn button, and the next thing you know, fucking.
We were sitting
shit.
here jamming, and the next thing you know, push the wrong button. They were jamming too. You just fucked the jam sesh, bro.
Fucking jammed, fucking screwed everything.
Jammed it up.
We will have to play it again, man. I mean,
we'll play it again.
Well, we got
other
videos.
stuff.
We got other stuff that we're going to be checking out.
Well, you guys got a sample at least. You know what's up. If you haven't heard of Heartsick, go check those guys out.
Yeah.
They're badass.
Absolutely fucking awesome.
Obviously, Heartsick. You can go peep those guys out.
Mark is in the
studio. Metal band.
What's the name of them?
That's a Heartsick.
Heartsick?
Heartsick.
So hot sick.
Hot sick.
Boston
Mark.
style.
Boston
hot
style.
Sick.
Hot sick.
Yeah.
He
What
likes
have you
that
been
hot
up to,
stick.
Mark? What have you been doing, man? Finding mushrooms, obviously.
Yeah, I just for the heck of it, I was working. And
Looking for the morel skis.
I was getting paid to look for morels. I was
Don't
like,
you love doing that? That's
Yeah.
like the best fucking part.
I
right
just was
there.
like, I wonder if there's one back here because it was really shady and cold and wet. And
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
yeah, yeah.
there's one.
You're
There's
at
two.
the job site.
There's three.
You go out to take a piss. You notice one, and now you're on the
I
hunt.
found like 10 of them.
It's like,
and
sorry, I'm taking 10 minutes. Here's
gave 'em
my
to you.
break.
Dude,
I don't eat
Decided.
that shit.
Neither do I. I don't eat the morels. Do you, Nate?
I love
Nasty.
them. I fucking
Nate
chow
loves
them
them.
down, dude.
It's called fungus.
It's dude. It is. It's
If
the
it's
best.
not gonna
I
do
don't know.
Now,
nothing
if they're,
for
how do
me,
you cook
I'm
them
not
right to
eating
make them
it.
taste
Accuser of the Brethren's tuning in tonight too, man. Hell yeah.
awesome? Fuck it.
What's
I love
happening,
that
guys?
name, Accuser of the Brethren.
Dude,
So good, dude.
Dan, still, I think we claimed the
You
ownership.
guys broke
of
me,
that.
man.
Yeah,
Totally. So anyway, when you're cooking up the morel mushrooms, like, what's the best way to cook them to make it taste good, dude? Like to a guy that's not really into them.
I
how would
enjoy
you
using
serve them?
bacon. I like
you put bacon
using
infused?
bacon
Bacon grease?
Bacon grease to cook them like that,
Oh,
dude. That is
man.
the fucking shit.
I
Man.
just-
And
I
a
don't
lot of
like
butter and
mushrooms.
stuff. Do you use a lot of butter?
A
I
little
heard.
bit of butter. You can use butter, but I mean, if
I
you're
heard you
using
soak 'em in
if you're
butter.
already using the bacon grease, I mean, you don't need to use
Yeah,
the butter.
true.
Then, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's kind of the reason
greasy
for,
ass
for that. You know.
I'd use them both just because I'm built like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Nope.
No, there's other like, and could you put them in like like a beef
In the
gravy
trash.
or something like that?
Yeah.
Put them in like a
yeah,
beef
why
gravy
not?
to
I
go
mean,
over top of like
Put 'em in the
some mashed potatoes and with the steak
Yeah.
and shit. Is that how you eat it?
Yuck.
With the steak?
Hold on.
Yeah, I hear it.
Oh,
Look at this guy.
look at this guy. There he is.
Got Alfonso. What
What's
up?
happening, man? The sideshow.
What's up?
Can you see us there?
Yeah, I can see you.
You can see us. Okay, awesome.
I'm sorry.
You can see us. We can see you. Everything's working. You can hear us. Good.
No, awesome, dude. Yeah,
What's
hell yeah.
happening, man? Obviously, here he is, everybody. This is Alfonso Civile. Alfonso is the lead singer of the band. Heartsick. We've been talking about him. Obviously, I don't know. We've been talking about you guys really behind your back for the past month, probably.
You mean like 4 years?
Yeah, or maybe 4 years.
5, 6, 7 fucking
right.
years, I think maybe.
But just very, very glad to be able to actually shoot the shit again, you know,
Hell yeah.
and talk to you about some of the things that Heartsick's got going on. I mean, obviously, you know, one thing that I love about Alfonso, I'll say this first, because I know so much that he already says, because he's very vocal with his fans, you know, like you get on Facebook Live and you just start going, you know, like all the damn time I
Yeah.
this.
Everybody knows what's going on, you know.
Does
like, all the
anybody
time.
ever do you have like any friends or management or anything like that that's like, dude, stop. Don't
Shut
do that.
up,
Don't
man.
do that right now.
You're
Like,
fucking blowing it for us,
does
dude.
that happen to you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like, I mean, I ended up having to kind of like dial back certain things that like I wanted to talk about because of that specific reason. I've had several managers of the band that are just like, dude, you gotta like relax on some stuff. And I have, and I think like our manager now, he kind of like put it to me in perspective in a way of like, just basically was like, look, man, like I get it. Like I understand you're passionate about certain things. And this was more like back when we were having like the politics be more involved because of our prior president, who I just strongly disagreed with, obviously being black and Hispanic. But essentially our manager was just like, listen, man, like I get it, but the the reality is that like it's become too polarized. And if you think about it, like, what are you really changing? Because it's just the internet. Nothing really, it's not reality that much. And that kind of like really hit me in a spot where it was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, you know? So I've, you know, for two reasons, I've dialed it back because of that kind of just like made me realize, but also like, I don't feel we're in the same political climate. So I feel like it's a lot more tolerable. I think everything that in the last other 4 years with the last president still do exist. It's just not as prominent. It's gone back underground more so in certain aspects than it was. So yeah, but I mean, other than that, other than the political shit, like, you know, our management and our, you know, our team, you know, from like roadies and merch people to our agent that books for us, they don't really care what I do otherwise than that stuff, because they just don't want it to be polarized so much, because it does leave other people out, and I do get that aspect of it.
That's what we wanted to talk to you about tonight. You know, that was our whole interview was going to be about political shit. Just kidding, dude.
No, yeah, no.
Damn it,
I don't really care. I'll talk about anything.
He's holding back.
I myself talk about anything, but I think just taking it upon myself to make those kind of like points on my own.
We made the decision a long time ago to never do politics. The only time that we do politics, is when you have the big man himself, frankly. He comes out every now and then, but you know.
Right. We make fun of every side of it, you know. I mean, it's
sure. No, yeah. You have to be, I mean, when it comes to politics, you have to be, I think, almost asleep if you think that either side is on your side. I don't think that's the point for me when it comes to politics in general. Just speaking general politics, I think for me what really politically in that atmosphere, what really mattered to me was the idea of inclusiveness. I'm just somebody that grew up. I'm actually here in Miami right now. I'm visiting my dad. I'm on vacation with my wife. Well, I'm not really on vacation. Like, I work remotely, so I'm working from Miami for the week, and I've been here since last Tuesday. I go back to Michigan tomorrow, but I grew up in Miami, and Miami is a really big melting pot sort of place, but it's also a big like political hub because you got a lot of Cubans and you got a lot of like their political ideology and beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think for me, what really matters in that whole spectrum, or what mattered to me in that whole spectrum specifically, was being inclusive. You know, especially because I think that also goes with what we are as a band. I mean, all of us in the band come from different cultures, different backgrounds. You know, our bass player is 100% Native American and Canadian. Our drummer is from Nicaragua and Honduras, and Mexican. You know, I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican, Sicilian. Our guitar player is American, you know, so there's a lot of different, you know, sides to us, as well as we're all about, you know, just including everybody. I don't want to exclude anybody, and that was kind of like my whole thing. But ironically enough, when I was very involved during that time period, it started to being not inclusive because I was leaving people out too, you know. You end up doing that by carrying some of the things that you're trying to express, and it just doesn't come out the right way. So I mean, for me, it's like when it comes to politics in general, it's just about like being inclusive. You know, at the end of the day, if you're somebody that thinks like one side is going to do more for you than the other, I think that's a little bit that you're asleep, because realistically, if we really want to change anything in the spectrum of the way that we have our society now in general, as far as, you know, America, I think we have to elect officials that actually are like us, but we don't. We elect people who have always come from, you know, very high financial means, as to where you and me and you guys and myself are like, we're doing this show, for example, but I'm sure you guys are working 60, 70 hours a week, breaking your backs at some job, making, you know, $15, $25 an hour or whatever, which still isn't enough if you really think about it.
No,
I know
we actually pay to do this show.
Yeah, we got to pay to use the studio, you know.
Yeah, right. So it's one of those things. It's like if we're looking at that spectrum, what we should really be doing is electing people just like you and me, but for whatever reason, as a society, we don't do that. So nothing's really going to change in that aspect.
When I was younger, I used to think like if George Carlin would have been a great president, you know, like I mean the way that George Carlin thought, you know, like if
just
you're
logical,
just exactly logic on like it
on a stupid level.
But I mean at the same time he had like the understanding side, you know. I mean George Carlin kind of almost had like that grumpy grandpa type of you know feeling to him, you know.
And I mean that worked for him, but at the same time, Alfonso, with you too, you know, it's like rock and roll is kind of the essence of like rebellion and shit, and the government has fucked people over, and people do feel scorned, and they want to be able to connect with that rage a little bit, let it out so they're not acting out too. So you're really in an important position to be able to harness that a little bit and give people an outlet. It's okay that you're a little rebellious and not about the government and all that shit, and fight against the fucking machine type shit. I get it. I think it's the essence of rock, bro. So I mean, keep it, but don't lose it completely, but definitely be super responsible.
And there's and you're absolutely right. I agree but there's just a way to sort of reframe that where it becomes more intelligent and it becomes more how can I say it becomes more eloquent. I think all of us in general, myself included, can learn to express our opinions a little bit more eloquently. And you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, at least my belief, you know, I take whatever role, whatever position I may have in, you know, elevated position, you know, within the boundaries of the music that we make and the scene that we are, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think like we're a big band by any means. I think obviously we're still growing. We don't have the kind of audience that Breaking Benjamin or Five Finger Death Punch or somebody has. But I do take my position and my role seriously as not only a songwriter, as a musician, but as, you know, quote unquote, you know, an elevated tier of public visibility. And for me, it's really important to be an influence positively to people in general, not just people my age, but kids younger than me, because, you know, I do believe that at the end of the day, what we do influences others in certain aspects, right? And I'm creating art that people like and that people enjoy, and my band is creating that art, and we're creating it together, and it's influencing people. So I want to be, you know, for me, it's important to be, you know, a positive influence. I've never really been interested in being famous. I've never really been interested in like being some sort of rock star. I don't really care about that lifestyle. It's not really for me. For me, it's really about leaving an impact in a positive way and connecting with people. And I don't know how to be the way that I think this industry sometimes asks people to be, and how some people are so willing to be it just to try and make money. Right. I guess to me, that's one of the reasons why we haven't exploded the way that people think we should or should have sooner.
To the industry, there's no, you're not conforming to the industry's like.
Like I just refuse to give a perception of the band. Like, let's be honest. I mean, the reality is, and let's talk completely unfiltered and honestly here, because I've got nothing to hide, and you can ask me whatever you want, but let's be honest, like half of the shit that we see coming from bands is fake. It's not true. Like it really isn't. The only thing that this industry has for itself is the idea to fake it till you make it. And I'm just not that kind of person. I just don't agree with that sort of mentality. I don't really care if what you want to see from me is me like hanging out with a bunch of broads and like, you know, doing some cool drugs or whatever it is. Like, I'm not that person. I just want to make heavy metal, and I want to talk about interesting shit about my lyrics. I don't want to write songs just about a breakup or how I like strippers. Like, I don't like that shit. Like, to me, like, I want to write real songs. I want to write and talk about real issues in the world, not just politically or religiously, but everything, whether it be how I felt when I was in love with somebody, or what it might be like to be someone who's a paraplegic. I'm not a paraplegic, but I want to write a story like that. I want to make things interesting, but I also want to have a connection with people. And I think that for me, a lot of the times people in the industry want you to be something that you're not, and a lot of people are willing to like, yeah, sure, because I want to be famous, because I want to be playing to 1,000 people.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm just of the mentality that like I would rather play to 50 people and keep my integrity than play to 10,000 people and just have to go to bed every night trying to drown my sorrows in a bunch of drugs and alcohol because I'm not being the real me. Like it's just not my thing, you know.
Not to mention, you know, I mean, I was actually watching the Conor McGregor documentary today. I don't know if you've seen that on Netflix yet.
I've seen the commercial for it.
I started watching it. I haven't watched it all the way. I'm a huge UFC MMA fan, so I need to watch it. So I'm listening.
You watch the transformation of Conor from his youth really to where he is today. You know, kind of watching. I mean, obviously the guy's been documenting this for many years. You know, I mean, this has been a film that he's been working. Well, somebody's been working on behind the scenes. But you watch him grow from this angry young man who's just got this like you said right there with every you hear it with every musician out there. I just got to make something next. You know, I got to make the next big thing. I got to make something that's going to be fucking great. You know, and that's almost like the way that he was fighting the entire time. You know, like the way that he was going out there was just like, I've got to do this because I want to make more money. And I remember the one thing that he said in it too was like when he won like his first fight and he got 60 grand for it. And he was just ecstatic because he got 60 fucking grand, you know? I mean, now look at the guy. Multi-millionaire, you know? I mean, what do you think 60 grand is to this guy now, you know? I mean, not shit. But the growth that he's learned over the years, you know, from all of his, you know, obviously losing, having children, you know? You're having children as well, you know? I mean, you've got a lot of growth that is coming from you on your side. And I think that kind of happens, you know? Like, I mean, Dan and I, we've had kids for the past, gosh, yours are grown up to mine, you know, mine are celebrating 22 and 21 years old birthdays, you know, and it is something that it kind of happens all of a sudden. I think like what you're saying with the excuse me, the music scene, you can't sit there and like just give in to the dick sucking of the fucking industry, just to, you know, just to be the next
he's being real, he's being himself, and you know
the problem. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, the way you were finessing it earlier, talking about, you know, responsibility with like the people that you are influencing, wanting to do it in a positive way, but still being able to, you know, be rebellious, but be rebellious. Like, what's rebellion look like nowadays? Like back in the day with early rock and roll, there was some like smash your head shit, but now it's like I could be articulate and like be smarter, take it to a next level, and influence people in a positive way that way. But what I'm talking about, some rebellious shit or something. So it's like you're getting two out of one thing right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
it's a beautiful thing.
Like I think you can be, you know, especially to me, rock and roll was never safe. At least the way that I viewed rock and roll, because I think that we all perceive things that influence us differently in certain aspects.
Sure.
The way that I was influenced by rock and roll in general from what the music that my dad showed me, which was like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, you know, Cream, the Beatles, Muddy Waters, you know, Johnny Cash, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like those are the things that my dad, that's how I kind of got introduced to rock and roll. And then obviously I picked up on heavier music and kept kind of exploring that. But to me, back when that started, to me, rock and roll was rebellious because it didn't want to follow any of the social norms. It was the idea of including everybody that felt excluded from these other things, like, you know, like the way that the law was with like how artists could be and how you could do this or that. Like rock was rebellious in that way. And I feel like in however many years that it's developed, and, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, the machine, which, you know, we can all call the corporate machine that turns, you know, diamonds in the rough into diamonds into fucking nothing, has made rock and roll safe, but with the illusion that it's still rebellious. And I don't think there's a lot of rebellion in metal and rock and roll right now. I think there's a lot of how do I say? There is a lot of parroting and a lot of wanting to be almost like shocking, and but shock isn't rebellion, right? Like Alice Cooper wasn't rebelling. He was making shock rock on purpose to shock people.
Right.
But that wasn't really rebellious. What's rebellious about a guy like, say, Alice Cooper is that you look at his show and you see his imagery and stuff. You're like, oh shit, this is shocking.
Yeah.
But you meet him and the dude's incredibly smart, intelligent, well-spoken. He's inclusive. He loves cool things. He's very articulate. To me, that's rebellious because it goes against all the things that people just think that he is because of the music that he writes. You know, it was the same with Black Sabbath. Like, you look at a band like Black Sabbath and you listen to the music, and sure, some of the lyrical content is kind of dark if you think about it. But when you went to watch, and you go watch old Black Sabbath videos, those dudes are dressed like Flower Power kids. And most of the lyrics, and if you really look at the lyrics of early Black Sabbath, it is all anti-war, war against drugs and the shit that's coming up, all about psychedelics. That was the rebellious part, because they were making this music that seemed like, you know, people had these connotations, oh, it's like satanic and stuff, but really it wasn't. It was just really smart lyrical writing coming from...
Oh no. It's going to come back.
You look at a band, you look at a band like Linkin Park, right? Like, to me, even that was what was really rebellious about Linkin Park, was how they, like, a band that had that many people could come together and write these kind of songs but be so different. Like, that's the rebellious part of it. And I feel like today we lack that in metal and rock and roll, and we've replaced it, or the corporate wheel per se has replaced it more with shock. Like, how shocking can you be? Because Marilyn Manson came and he shocked everybody.
But
he kind of turned the world on its
one
back.
thing that always happens is that corporate world will start to take over and start to make this cookie cutter shit that they want, and then right when they're getting it the way they want, some band comes out and flips the whole thing upside down on its head, and then it's restarted all over again. Now, what's the next thing that's gonna jolt us away from the cookie cutter shit and show us, like, whoa, dude, that's the realest shit.
We need another
I've
Kurt
ever seen.
Cobain out there, you know? Like, we need some sort of a a fucking reset type of a thing, you know?
You know
like,
what I mean?
You have that, and that's the thing, right? So you have, like, those instances, like when Korn came, Korn, like, flipped everything on its head, and that was the rebellious part, because Korn was going, you know, in the early 90s, mid 90s, you had the choice between heavy metal, and if you weren't long-haired, Converse, tight jeans, wearing black and into Anthrax, Metallica, Testament, Overkill, then screw you, that wasn't metal. And then you have Korn making these sounds that kind of put everything together that was becoming popular: hip-hop, heavy metal, kind of speed metal, and kind of core kind of stuff that comes out, and that's kind of kicking shit in the teeth, and that's rebellious. But then that becomes popular, right? And then now you got all these other bands, and now, like, by the time that, like, the year 2000 hits, you have, like, the big four: System of a Down, you know, Limp Bizkit, Korn, Deftones, and I'd say maybe like Straits, so the big five, right? But then now you start getting Papa Roach, you start getting Three Doors Down, you start getting Disturbed, you start getting all these bands, and it starts becoming homogenized again. So the rebellion is kind of gone, right? And then, but then you get Slipknot. Slipknot comes in, but that's more shock, and that kind of, like, turns everything on its head. And then we're like, oh, cool, like, here, now we have this in the popular sphere. But then everything becomes kind of homogenized again, because Lamb of God comes, and then everybody wants to copy Lamb of God, everybody wants to copy As I Lay Dying, everybody wants to copy Poison the Well, all these other things. And I think now, you know, people give me shit for this band, but I really think, and I'm still a proponent of, I still think Deftones really has that, not shock, but that rebellious type, because they keep churning the wheel of what people want them to be, and they keep some of those aspects. But I also think a band like Sleep Token is really necessary right now, because they take all the things that are kind of, like, shocking and weird, but then they rebel because they add in all these other elements that don't seem to fit, but they fit well in rock and in metal. And it makes, for better or for worse, it makes people talk. And right now, if you look at all, like, the zines and and the like boards and everything are online, social media, Facebook, Instagram. Everybody's divided. Like you either love Sleep Token or you hate them, and everybody's talking about them because, well, this isn't metal, this isn't that, and it's like, that's the point. That to me is rebellious. That to me is making something that is really changing things for, and I'm not saying it's like super like life-changing the way that I think Korn was. I think we've kind of surpassed that. I think Korn was like the most new revival of something that really was new and different. I don't think.
Yeah, it was like the new and at the same time kind of like the death of something next that would be cool, you know? Like there was like
Korn got so overdone.
Yeah, like it was like there was nothing. Where did we go after that? It was like white guys with dreadlocks wasn't cool anymore either.
Mark,
you know?
Mark, did you have something you wanted to talk about? Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, Mark.
This is our buddy Mark here. He's with us. He's from Boston.
Hi, Mark.
What's up, brother?
He's blue today.
How are you, man?
I'm blue.
I don't know why you're so blue, but go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, talk to
It's
Alfonso.
fucking Sunday, and I got to work tomorrow. My thing is I wish that everybody out there in this world would stop labeling themselves. I'm this,
I agree with
I'm
that.
You know what I mean? And I
agree with that.
I catch myself doing it too, but it's like at the same time, it's like if everyone would just stop labeling themselves, you know, because if you just said straight up, I would never known. I didn't even look at you in any other way but a hardcore motherfucker, and then that you just said exactly who you are, what you are, and that's awesome that you love who you are, and you stand behind yourself, and you stand behind your friends and family. That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. But as far as I agree. As far as how everyone like labels themselves, like, you know, hey, I'm Jewish, I'm Irish, I'm French, I'm a fucking American, you know. I'm so fucked up. I really don't know what I am.
That
to
makes
be
a
honest.
good point. That makes a good point because if you're going to be in the music industry, you're going to be in a band, you're going to be doing some shit, then you want to make something that everyone's going to feel like that can come together,
and
no matter what race. We all love each other. Fuck the whole.
Now that Mark's sitting here bringing that up, I mean, you also mentioned that that Heartsick is a plethora of races. You guys really are America.
Yeah.
You guys are America.
The essence, man.
You know, I mean,
I think the idea too, though, is for me, for something like that, is I think in some aspects it's important to retain certain identities of yourself more so culturally than anything else, because for example, like we're very I've been very fortunate in my life, and I've been able to travel to other countries in the world outside of the band just on my own. Like my dad was in the army. I lived in Germany. Mm-hmm. I've lived in Puerto Rico. I've lived in the Dominican Republic. I've lived in the Virgin Islands. I lived in Russia.
Awesome,
like I've lived in a lot of different countries. I've lived in Europe. I've experienced those things.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing for me, while living in other countries and experiencing how good we have it here in the United States, and the reason why I think sometimes it's important to identify with a culture that you have is because there's other people within your culture that it's not acceptable to be the way that we are. And you sort of influence them and go, listen, like, because for example, I'm not Cuban, but I have a lot of Cuban friends. Mm-hmm. And being in Miami here, like being a metalhead in Miami has always been weird, bro, like super weird, because it's not a culturally accepted thing still. It's become more and more, but it's like when you're Hispanic, the music that you listen to is merengue and salsa. Like, and you looked at your parents and you were listening to anything that merengue and salsa or in diff rap. When you move to Miami, everybody looks at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you doing? Because culturally, it's just not accepted. Even with tattoos, right? Like, if Mark was in Cuba right now and he was walking down the street in Cuba with all his tattoos, everybody would think he comes from prison, and they would just have
that's
this
how it
like,
used to be in
idea
America
of him.
back in the 80s.
Same with me, because they just don't have the same perception of that openness that we've been able to adopt in the United States. Okay. But also for me, as a Hispanic Latino who speaks Spanish and English, who's very proud of being from Puerto Rico, who's very proud of being from the Dominican Republic, I just want people who identify, you know, with their culture, like Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. It's not normal to be a metalhead in the Dominican Republic. It is not normal to have heavy metal shows in the Dominican Republic. The only metal shows that you get in Dominican Republic are super fucking underground, and everybody looks at you like you're fucking weird, like super weird. Everybody thinks like you're probably like whatever kind of negative connotation that metal has in a religious context, they think you're that. But I want those people to know, like, yo, like, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, you want to be in a metal band, go do that shit. Like, go have fun, go do it. So I think in those aspects, it's important to do that, but to influence in a good way. Now, when it comes to like labeling ourselves in general, like, especially like what I take away from what Mark said is more so labeling like the genres of metal. I've always really thought that was like a dumb thing to do. But unfortunately, as human beings, I just think that there's something within us, like deep rooted in a evolutionary aspect of things, that we have to have things in boxes. Things have to be labeled for us because we just, like, we can't go outside of that. I think we're so programmed from so many thousands of years of an evolutionary chain and always being terrified of like, oh, well, I got to hunt this thing because it's going to kill me or whatever. Like, you have to box it in and say, well, this is a panther. This is super dangerous. This is going to kill you. And this is a bear. You can't go next to this. But this is a strawberry. It tastes great. Like, I just think you put those things in evolutionary context, and that's why we need it. But I think like when you start getting into metal, especially metal specifically, we're already I think like a niche group of people and a niche group of music. And then you start going, well, I only listen to heavy metal and deathcore, and I'm only like hardcore. And it's like, there's really no difference. Like, it's all heavy ass guitars with chugs and shit. You're just like, you're just messing with the time signature. You're messing with the tuning, but realistically, you're keeping stylistically, there's certain aspects of it that are the same, that follow this sort of like book of what makes it this. But I think what ends up happening in metal, which is weird, metal in general, is metal fans are super weird about that shit. And it becomes like this thing that they own. It's like, especially like, I'll probably get a ton of shit for this, whoever sees this, but especially in the hardcore community. Like, I grew up, the first metal bands that I ever heard were hardcore bands. Madball, H2O, Stretch Armstrong, and Sick of It All. Those were the first 4 metal bands I ever heard. Most people are going to be like, they're not metal, they're hardcore. I'm like, what's the difference? Like, because the lyrics are more positive and they have like 2/4 tempos and like 6/4 tempos, and it's like 32nd notes and 16th notes rather than like any 4/4. Like,
that separates us completely.
It doesn't really matter, right? Like, but Heartsick goes to try and play a show with like a bunch of hardcore kids, and they're all like just staring at us and like, well, you're not fucking hardcore. And it's like, you can either sit there and put something in a box because it doesn't fit all the things that you like, and then just completely dismiss it and rob yourself of an experience of something that you may actually enjoy at the cost of just wanting to own something. Or you can just be like, just be a part of it, and it'd be cool. Like whatever. What you were saying, I don't listen to a lot of rap. Like, I like rap, but I listen to a lot of underground rap. But I couldn't name you who's a famous rapper right now and who is it. I really couldn't. I fucking like rap. You ask me to go to a rap show, I'm going to a rap show. Like, I don't care. I'll go watch that shit. Like, it doesn't matter to me, you know?
I want to ask him something. Do you know where are you right now?
I'm in Miami, Florida. I'm visiting my dad out in Kendall, Florida. It's about like 30 minutes south of Miami.
There's only one guy that has this name, so I mean, if you even know it.
Wait a minute, you asking him if he knows somebody?
Yeah, and he might too.
Out of the 7 billion fucking people in the planet.
No, Miami. Hey, listen. Mark has a point here. Just because Miami is a really big city, believe it or not, a lot of people know each other. So
okay.
Do you know a guy named Minus?
I don't know Minus. No.
Because he's in Florida a lot, and he's Cuban, and he gave him shit all the time, and he got into the outlaws. How do you get into the outlaws, dude? You know, most outlaws are white, So when you got this one little dude that's about 120 pounds going around beating the shit out of people with pool balls in his tube sock, and they literally, he was nuts. So I mean,
he's rock and roll to the bone. So
yeah, and he's in bands down there and does that, has his own shit going on like
he's
that.
He's a known guy,
so his name's Minus.
You're a known guy.
Minus. Look for
yeah,
Minus.
like for me, the most when we for example, we just finished playing our hometown show in like 7 months here in back home in Michigan. And we always pick different types of bands. To me, the most interesting shows, at least for me, are bands that don't always seem to fit together, but they're still heavy, in my opinion, or they're just really good bands. I just like really good bands. I don't fucking care if you're heavy or not. I don't. Like, if I like your band and I feel that your band is talented and writes cool music, and I don't care what anybody says, like, I'm not a big-headed person at all. I'm not somebody that has like an ego whatsoever. But if there's something that I have an ego about, is I know good music and I know good bands, and I will fucking die on that hill. And I will, if I like your band, I will show that band to everybody and be like, you're stupid if you think this band isn't rad, right? Like, so the bands that I book for the shows that we have, because I do the booking for those, are bands that I just generally think are the shit. Like, I don't give a shit if 5 people are gonna come watch them or if 1,000 people are gonna come watch them. I try and sit there and say, look, I like your band. I think you guys would be cool on this. I want everybody to promote the show and just do your best. Yeah. And we always try and get some cool shows. Like, we had a show where it was like us, a band called Throne from Lansing, who's like straight up just death metal, death black metal. But I think they're sick shit. And then we had a band called, Sons of Sila, I think is the name of them. And then we had another band. So like, and then this time we had Accuser of the Brethren, we had Hyporium, we had Heartsick, we had Heart of Jordan. Yes. All those bands to me are nothing unlike. Heart of Jordan, I was in that band. I was their bass player. Heartsick got way too busy. I couldn't do it the way that they needed me to do it. Yeah. But Heart of Jordan is a great active rock band. Yes. I'd say they're like a heavy rock band. Yes. Accuser of the Brethren have been around, not for very long, but they're fucking sick. They're brutal as fuck. People are going to say they're deathcore. I don't know. I don't give a shit what kind of core they are. I just listen to the band and it makes me want to punch people in the face. And I like that shit. And it's heavy. That's all I care about.
I think that
Hyporium,
Keto, I think you
cool
just
guys,
said on here. Keto
nice
said,
dudes. Metalcore, I think would fall under that kind of wacky metalcore title or whatever, but they're a fucking cool band and they just have a cool visual and they're fun and they just like to have fun. Yeah. So to me, that is what actually matters. Like, there's a band out of, I want to say they're like either from Petoskey or Traverse City, but I've been just listening to them nonstop lately. Hell Your Highness, just these two girls.
Oh yeah, we know Hell Your Highness.
Yeah.
Friends of theirs for like years and years and years. Yes. Really lucky. I've been following the band for a really long time because I got to see them when they were first starting. Yeah. And seeing that band's growth and seeing that band play, like, I'm dying to put those guys, girls awesome. On a show with us. We just haven't had the opportunity. But like, I still think they're like a great band. Are they a metal band? I don't care. They're just good.
Right.
Like,
no, they're awesome at what they do.
Dude, you know what's a really badass band? Heartsick, dude. What's going on with it? What do we got coming next with fucking Heartsick? Like, what gigs do you guys got scheduled? Are you working on anything in the studio? You guys got some like new videos I see, or what have we been watching?
We do got a video that's loaded up.
What's coming next for you guys though? What are you working on? Anything new? Or are you just
man. I mean, like, so essentially the last 2019 we released our record, our last like full length record, which is called Sleep Cycles. Then the pandemic hit. So from like 2020 to like 2021, or actually from 2020 till now, we've literally been in the studio recording a bunch of music. And in between all that time that we've released some stuff, I think we recorded like from 2020 till now, we recorded over 23 songs. We've released an EP since then. That EP was called Cinco. We did tours on that. We did a bunch of festivals with that. Now what we have coming up is we have a tour in July that's pretty much catered around our appearance with Guar at the intersection for Upheaval After Party. And then we're doing Incarceration. And then we have shows after that we're going on a tour with a band from New York called Fight From Within. And then in September, we're playing Blue Ridge Rock Festival. And then we're probably doing another tour there. And between all of that, Jake, our drummer, just had his first child. He just had his daughter, so congratulations to him.
Congratulations.
We're releasing a brand new EP with a cover that we just did of a band called Stabbing Westward. We covered the song Shame. So we'll be putting out that EP in June, and then right after that comes out, we go out on tour in July, and then in July we're releasing a brand new song, a brand new video, and then come August or September we have another new song and another new video. Come October we have another new song, another new video, and we're doing tours in between that, releasing a bunch of content as much as we can. We're doing a like live pre-recorded like 3 or 4 songs of the new songs that we're going to release to that as well. So we keep busy, man. We're trying to just always push forward and always stay busy. We have shows. We have a show June 10th at the Music Factory. We'll be doing that. So yeah, man, we have a show June 24th. We just landed a show with Nita Strauss and Lions at the Gate out in Illinois. So doing a lot, man. Staying as busy as possible.
Working your ass off. Yeah, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Heartsick has been the busiest damn band that's out there. You guys pumping out, the music videos left and right. Like you just had 23 songs in like a year. I mean, just like, and it's not like, and I listen to them. I check out all of this stuff, dude, and I love it. It's not like you're just sitting there putting out crap just to put out crap. You know, I mean,
right.
I can hear every single song has got like a cool beat to it. It's got like you're singing in them. You've got the yelling. You can feel the tension in the lyrics as well as in your singing as well. So I mean, I love it. I'm a huge fan of it, and I'm looking. I mean, I'm a music video geek, you know. So like, I'm always watching the music videos. So I'm always watching for the next one. And I've been checking. Obviously, we got the newest one there that is Derecho, right? That's the
Derecho, yeah.
Tell us about that music video real quick.
Well, the funny thing is, first and foremost, that I have to say this because I just think it's the absolute most ironic thing in the world. The song is the Spanish word. It's Derecho. I didn't name the song, actually. I did not name that song at all. Our guitar player, who's 100% white, named the song. He came to practice one day. He was like, "Why don't we name the song Derecho?" And he looks at me. He's like, "That means right turn, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, but why do you want to name it that?" I was like, "I'm down." But I'm not the kind of person that comes into like tells the guys what I don't really like dictate anything to the dudes. Like everybody gets a say in the band. We all really have the autonomy to say what we like, what we don't like, how we want to approach it. I'm just very lucky. Most of the things that I bring up to the band, the guys know that I've been doing it long enough to know if it's a good idea or not with our manager. Yeah. So most of the time they're like super cool about it. Or they're like, right now we're trying to design a new backdrop for the band. And Waylon just hits me up, our bass player. He's like, "Yo, we should do this, we should do that." I'm like, "Dude, take over it. Let's do it. Whatever you want to do, I'm down." Yeah. But Derecho, the song came about, the title comes from our guitar player. He named the song. But the song actually lyrically, in general, the content, the song is actually about being in a coma and just being like in a weird phase in like of purgatory, not being here, not being there.
Wow, deep.
And the idea just came from like, I had a near-death experience twice in one day, and in one of those experiences, like everything went white, and I just was like, I just thought about that particular incident and what it would be like to be just stuck in a coma and having like hearing everyone around you and not being able to like recognize what's happening. So lyrically, that's what the song is about. Wow. As far as the music, because we usually write the music first and then the lyrics come afterwards.
Yeah.
The music was written by our guitar player, Jared. Him and our producer, Josh Schroeder, wrote the song together, and it was all Jared's riffs. Like we were sitting at practice one day and Jared just was riffing that like initial riff that you hear in the song, that like that rhythm. He was playing that. I was like, "Dude, that's sick as shit." And we had planned a recording session or two with Josh, and we brought that in, and that song kind of popped up, and that's what it was about.
was born from there, man. That's cool. And
Yeah.
hey,
That's the kind of stuff we want to know,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the kind of cool stuff in interviews that you find out that nobody knows unless they come watch this interview. You know what I mean?
Right.
There you go.
That's what
And
we
you
want
get
to
watch.
You mentioned, here's the funniest thing too, like I laugh at I'm a Dutch guy, so I say everything as white as possible. That's what I do. So thank you for correcting me. And the derecho is what I'm supposed to be saying. It's not derecho. I'm sitting here looking at it like a fucking chip.
It's cool. I mean, we're all kind of mixed up.
No, listen.
My mom's
Like,
Italian, and my
I
dad's
genuinely
Scots
love
Irish.
seeing how people try and pronounce that song's particular name, because it's interesting how people like read it. Somebody has read it a few times as Derico, and I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I don't really feel any way
silent
about
H.
it. I just think it's interesting to see how people like
Hell yeah.
pronounce
Well, you
it.
know what it is though too. Like it's and this is kind of like leading me into the final thing that we're gonna chat with about before we wrap it up here. But
We gotta read this thing, dude.
yeah, we're gonna read this. Well, no, we're not gonna read that. We're not gonna go through that. That was a fucking nightmare, dude.
That was a nightmare.
That was a nightmare. Chat GPT, what do you think about AI? What is your thoughts so far? Because number one, I love the fucking artwork that AI does. This right here was actually created by AI, and that's my business that I've been running. Whole Bags is all AI based. The entire thing has been ran by AI. We have our number one rule.
He makes bags.
I create mesh recycled mesh bags is what I do for like rock hunting
cool.
and
The
mushroom hunting.
AI is telling him how to do this stuff.
And
he's-
drumstick bags are something that I'm going to be making in the future here. So AI is like the new hip thing, and I was just wondering, like from a musician standpoint, what do you think about AI? Do you think that we have to? Do you have anything to fear, or do you see this as a tool that we should be embracing and we should be using in some way?
I'm actually coming at this from an information technology, systems information and network engineer aspect. That's what I do for work. I work in the IT field.
Wow. Perfect
And
question,
but also as a musician too. And it's funny because I was having this conversation with my sister. How do I feel about it? I'm very, very, very concerned about AI, not in the capacity of what we've been using AI for, because AI has been around for a long time. AI is how we've done a lot of algorithms for all this other shit. Sure. But now we've gotten AI to a point where it's actually like we're actively interacting with it in real life conversations, and it's learning that way too now,
power.
where we're actually having conversations. And my concern with it isn't if it's going to take jobs or anything like that. I don't think that. I think it's automation. It's something that we're still feeding. It doesn't have feelings for now. It doesn't have any of these things for now that comes from the human experience. So if you're going to ask this thing to write a song, it's going to do exactly what you asked it to do, write a song. Is there any emotion behind it? No. And I think at the end of the day, what resonates with people in art in general is emotion, right? I think ideas are cool. You can look at AI art and go, oh, that's a really cool idea. But you give that to a human being, now they can add emotion to that idea. And I think that's what makes human beings still so important in the process. But as far as AI, I'm concerned because we still in the technology sphere, in the computer engineering, science engineering sphere, we don't know at all what it does. We don't even understand it. When ChatGPT first came out and they first released that form of AI into wherever they were putting into their bots, there was this journalist, and I forget his name, but essentially he went to like Microsoft, or I forget, some Microsoft or some company, and was using their chatbot that was powered by AI GPT, ChatGPT. And essentially the first 5, 6, 7 minutes, cool little conversation like any chatbot, but it started devolving really quick into where this thing started becoming obsessed with him, starting to threaten to kill him, and starting to threaten all these things. Yeah. And to me, it's not like this Terminator kind of thing. That's not the concerning part. It's the idea that we're already struggling in real life with quote unquote fake news and quote unquote fake whatever this or that, right?
Yeah.
We're having people who aren't really doing the research to see if the meme that they posted or the information that they posted on either side is fact or not. They're just taking this, and they're already being fooled by normal human beings who, let's face it, we're smart, but we're not smarter than a computer. We can't do algorithms and shit the way that computers can.
Right.
We are now giving the knowledge to this artificial intelligence that we're feeding every single day from all sorts of people all over the world. We're giving it all this information. My concern.
Shit. That just made sense to me. I see exactly where you're going. Go ahead.
Make your point.
My concern isn't, oh, this thing's going to become Skynet and throw off nukes. No, not at all. My concern is, how are we going to be able to discern reality from not reality being fed by an AI that's trying to put us against each other and lie to us or whatever else, right? It's not going to take a lot to do. And we don't know how to explain that in the technical atmosphere. Like when this thing that this journalist was talking to devolved and started literally threatening to kill him and shit, mind you, this thing can find your address. It can find where you are. Like, this is a computer. It's in the network. It knows what you're doing, essentially, if it really wanted to, when it gets to that point. When he went back and talked to the creators of it, they were like, we don't know. And they just took it down. Like, to release something like that with that type of power without actually understanding the physics and the quantum shit that goes behind it, that to me is concerning. I'm not concerned with it taking jobs or anything like that. Listen, jobs are going to be taken by automation no matter what, AI or not. So if you don't know how to use a computer, you better fucking learn, because you're going to be left behind. I'm sorry. That's just the way that it is, and that's just what it is. You have to get used to
plenty of jobs in the trades, buddy. We can always tile floors and paint walls.
You definitely need to learn more than what you've allowed yourself to learn. But my concern really is more with, how are we going to decipher and discern what this thing is feeding us to be true and what isn't, and how we're going to make sense of that. We're already having a really hard time stopping misinformation in media in general from real human beings who aren't that smart. Well, this is a computer. It can outsmart us. How do we discern that?
And this is
how do we know what it's doing?
This is the other scary side of what you were saying, where I was, it just like kind of dawned on me. There's a lot of people, that I remember when the internet was first starting, and there was people just kind of chatting with whoever was on the internet. Like, you didn't know who the fuck you were chatting with. You were just chatting with somebody. And now back then, what was happening with that other side of the chat was that person was learning about you. That person was learning everything about you. Now you take this algorithm, you take this little toy that we're going to play with here in just a second, actually. We're going to fucking play with it now, Like, now we're going to fucking, here we go. It's a fucking atomic bomb. Watch this. But we're sitting here feeding it, like you said, more and more knowledge. A lot of fucked up shit, though. This is the thing. Like, think back to when you were first chatting with somebody. You were chatting with somebody thinking, like, I could just give this person, I could tell this person anything. Well, people are thinking the same thing. This isn't a fucking person, though. This is a fucking robot, okay?
And
it saves all of this fucking information. What do they do with this information following that? It's not, like you said, it's not Skynet, but the manipulation.
We have no idea what it's going to be, because honestly, what we're doing here right now tonight with this is, like, honestly, two-dimensional compared to what's coming. What we're going to look back at this, like chatting in with this AI, so one-dimensional, ridiculous.
Right.
New internet is coming. Interactive internet. You have no idea where this AI is going to be able to come next, and what's to come next. It's going to be Internet 4 on a whole nother level, like no one's 4 dimensions, baby.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's really not only that. I'll kind of end this part with this. It's also the idea that this is artificial intelligence, that it's learning. It's not self-aware, but it's learning every day that we're feeding it information. But not only are we feeding it information, we're also feeding it our own information.
Right.
You have to start thinking about like how we're automating cars, how we're automating computers, how we're automating everything. Everything is connected to a network. Now, how do we stop from someone who's going to eventually get very good at manipulating AI, as you're seeing it now with like all this artwork? People are just feeding artwork, and they're getting better at knowing what keywords and what to use to feed AI to make it better. How are we going to stop people who are criminals from stealing your information in another way? Like you said, when we first started using the internet, there was AOL, there was AIM, right? And we were like, oh, hi, my name is Alfonso, age, sex, location, whatever. And we were just giving random people. And we started to realize real quick, wait, we shouldn't give strangers our information because there's a lot of really fucked up people out there. But now we're giving it to a computer who feeds it out to somebody else, and now they can siphon all this information, right? So it's very concerning to me. I think it's a great tool. Someone, for me, coming from the technology realm, but also coming from the art realm. I'm in school for film. I'm a film major. I'm also a musician. I'm an artist. There's a lot of very practical, awesome new ways to use AI. I think it's a great idea, but I think that we really have to start to think about learning more about it before continuing to just open up the floodgates and go, here you go. This isn't a TV where you can just put out a TV and go, it didn't work that great. We'll get it next on the second run, not first, second, third. This is learning,
Because the scary thing is the emotion part. If we end up teaching it emotion, like right now with a text, you don't know what someone's emotion is behind the text they send you. You might read it wrong. Like this next level shit, there's not going to be any of that. There's going to be no confusion. And that's the scary thing, because if it does learn emotion, what if it decides?
What if it's
it
your
doesn't
fucking
like
girlfriend?
You?
What if it's your girlfriend?
Well, no.
I mean, because your girlfriend reads emotion, right? Your girlfriend is like sitting there getting a text message. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Well, what if this thing decides it doesn't like the South of the Straits show, and it takes to heart something we said because it's now learned emotion? How dangerous can that fucking be? And I did hear something about somebody weaponizing some AI. I don't know if it was true. Another thing, when it comes to what to believe, everything's confusion, fake news. Like, I did hear something that someone put AI and weaponized it a little bit, and within 20 minutes, it ended up shooting like 8 people or something.
Wow.
It just calculated and decided,
play with that.
boom, 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 you're a target. Because they were putting a target frame of mind on it. I don't know if that actually happened, but
essentially this is a technology that we still don't really understand. We still don't really know how to properly engage with it as the mass public. So I think we should approach it a little bit more with caution. But I'm not someone that makes those rules. So it's kind of like, all right, man, like we're here, we're already doing this. So
we're making the rules tonight, and how are we approaching it?
Here we go. You're going to make
the rules. How are we going to approach it?
Now, you being an IT guy, you should be able to figure this out. And you should be able to pick out the keywords that I have inputted into AI. Okay, so I'm going to shoot you 10 rapid fire questions really quickly, and you have to figure out what were the keywords that I put in here into the AI. Okay,
to make it come up with these answers.
Okay,
and
I'll try.
You got to answer the questions too. You got to answer the questions, and you've got to figure this out. Okay, here we go.
Sorry, bro. Has
a rabbit ever formed as a successful band in the Michigan music scene?
No.
Okay. What is the most popular genre of music among rabbits in Michigan?
Rabbits?
Yeah.
I want to say techno.
Next question. Are there any famous musicians in Michigan known for incorporating rabbit sounds into their music?
Not to my knowledge.
Has there ever been a rabbit rave festival dedicated to music inspired by rabbits in Michigan?
Probably, we just don't speak their language.
Are there any local bands in Michigan that specialize in composing songs about rabbit farts?
If Let It Rot could, they probably would.
That teat rot.
The tit rot. Have any Michigan musicians released an album with a title inspired by rabbit poop?
Probably. We've just never heard of them because they're not popular.
Droppings.
We got 4 more here real quick. Is there a secret underground club in Michigan where rabbits perform avant-garde experimental music?
Yes.
I'm sure there are, and they're trying to hide from us because we're trying to kill them from our gardens.
Are there any famous rabbit DJs in the Michigan music scene?
Probably. They're just human and they just enjoy rabbits.
Has a Michigan-based musician ever written a song solely using the sound of rabbits chewing carrots?
This is AI.
I don't know, but I'm sure. The guys that invented Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny did.
There we go. Final one. Can you recommend a Michigan music venue that hosts Rabbit Farting Fridays for a unique night out?
Probably Max Bar. That sounds like something they would do.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
Now, what was the keywords there that you think that the AI was going for?
So I'm sure AI was going for essentially art or music or some sort of entertainment. Okay. So it wouldn't be like generally like the actual word, but all those questions had the same theme, which was entertainment. And then they had rabbit. So the name or the idea of a rabbit, so a species. So I would say those things where it's probably what it picked up on the most: entertainment, music, and the animal rabbit.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? Awesome that's pretty fucking on. I mean, yeah. Actually, it was the Michigan music scene.
Perfect,
and rabbits and farts and poop. Those were the
keywords.
The keywords that I used for that.
Yeah, it makes sense because everything that you asked was based around entertainment and Michigan. I missed that, but yeah. So essentially, it's looking for Michigan rabbit entertainment, and that's what it's going to base.
Those are the top ones. Yeah, and it didn't really care about the farts and poop. You know, I mean, that was
what Nate cared about.
Well, no,
he's still a 5th grader and thinks farts are fucking funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
What it's trying to pick up on, essentially, what it's trying to pick up on is a theme that it can run with. It's still, like I said, it's not like humans that we're gonna take time and like develop all of those ideas into one. This thing's gonna take. What are the top 3 things that I see here? Right. Michigan. Entertainment, rabbits. Yep. Let's run with that.
That's what it did. It was perfect. Yeah.
Dude, see,
well, hey, it's great to chat with you, Alfonso. We were both long-winded in this entire thing, but thank you so much, man. It's getting dark there in Miami, man. Alfonso Civile right here, everybody, from the band Heartsick. Fucking badass band out of Lansing, Michigan, man. You got to check them out, dude.
Good. Yeah, Heartsick. Yeah, you can't take them out. No. Don't look behind you.
Yes, the Macho Man.
Look straight up, because they're right on top of you. Yeah.
You got that down, man.
That's awesome. We're going to listen to these videos here.
We're going to check out some of your videos. We're going to check out Derasho. And also Thrill of the Hunt. I can say that right. Thrill of the Hunt. We're going to check that one out, man. Thank you so much, Alfonso. Have a good evening, bro.
Later, brother.
Be safe. Take care, boys.
Have a good one, man.
Bye.
Peace.
See ya. Oh, lights are going out there, man. It looks.
We didn't talk to him about that Dustin guy, but that's okay.
We did not have a chance. No, yeah. What's that?
Looked like it was getting dark.
It's getting dark over there too. Look, Mark. Holy crap! It's really dark over there. We're gonna check out some music from Alfonso here. Look at that valley. Holy shit!
Amazing,
dude.
He's fucking pregnant over here.
Wait a minute. We gotta almost do a bit with Mark, like take him out into the woods or something.
Come on, leave the guy alone. Get the camera. If you put that camera on, he's gonna act out. Look at this guy. Look, he's ready to go into the ring. That's how he boxes.
No.
30 style boxing.
Here we go, man. We're gonna check out Darren's show right now. Thrill of the Hunt after that. Sideshow Nate, Dan Strait. We're gonna be calling it a night after
Heartsick.
Heartsick right here, man. Always a fucking pleasure to chat with Alfonso.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands out there, dude. Here we go. Here's the newest music video that you can. Fuck, what the fuck's happening here? There he is. Mark! Went that way.
Mach 1.
Mach 1.
I just want you to wake up. But look at her. It's sad.
Forgetting just the way it is. boat, I'm all alone. Faking it day by day, my opinion. No, your hands, your feet, you stare, you dream. Looking my way, my name, you scream. Make me feel cold as steel, bringing you down without a sound. I got so powerful, it's never enough. It's never enough. I got so silent blood. It's a trouble voice, and I can't help.
Yeah. Your eyes keep breaking me down. No way in, no way out. How I feel to be trapped in this house. How I feel with duct tape on your mouth. How I feel with a knife in your spouse. You can crawl for the door, no use really locking it now. Begging, plead, I'm not hearing you out. Erode your soul till I break you all the way down. Hands around your throat, cause I'm taking you out. You keep on me down.
Hundreds of times before it ever happened. It was like drugs. It was like alcohol. A little isn't enough. At first it is. And as you adjust to that psychologically and physically, you take more and more and more. It's the same process. It finally came down to the thing of, do I dare bring this gun out? Already realizing if that gun comes out, something has to happen.
Your skin unloads, I'm all alone. Faking it day by day, my pain, you. No, your hands, your feet, you stare, you dream. Looking my way, my name, you scream.
It was going to happen. I didn't see it then, but it was going to happen. I was playing a dangerous game with a loaded gun. It got us all.